So welcome. Is that a little bit loud?
Yeah.
Oh. Who controls that music?
I don't know. We'll get somebody.
Okay, we'll get someone to, or I'll just start dancing. Go along with it. Don't hear it. I can't hear it as much as you probably can over the great speakers. So I do apologize in terms of the amount of content today. We won't have a chance to look at all the videos. I'm not going to go through all of the research or all of the background material. Just give you enough to really get a good understanding, because I want to spend a good amount of time on the Goodness of Fit chart, because it's a very practical tool for you to use with parents or for use, even for your own use in terms of relationships with your children, with other caregivers, etc. And to go through some scenarios of how that all works. So temperament, of course, is a fascinating topic, and we've known about temperament for a long time. If you look at the ancient Greeks, they had 4 different temperaments: the sanguine, choleric, melancholic, and phlegmatic temperament. And it was based very much on body shape. So if you had a certain shape, you had a certain temperament. That, of course, doesn't really work in our scientific world. We understand it's a little bit more rigorous than that. Zodiac signs. I think probably how many people don't know their zodiac sign? Almost that. So everybody knows their zodiac sign. So there's another form of understanding temperament based on the alignment of stars when you were born, and it produces a certain way that you are sort of moving forward in life, in your relationships, and your thinking, and your ideas. Old poem from the 1800s, Monday's Child. Many of you are familiar with that again. Really showing that, 150 years ago, there was an understanding of temperament styles based on days of the week. Again, that's not very scientific. It doesn't work that way. But it gives that notion that for quite some time now, we've understood that people are different. We see that. How many here have more than one child? Yeah, I have 5. How many here have more than one child who are identical in temperament? Right. So it's a wonder, why is it they're so different? We're the same parents in the same home, and there is some nurture stuff, but the nature of temperament is really embedded. And that's what we're understanding from the work of some of the pioneers and current scientists. So temperament is a set of inborn traits that help to organize how a person will perceive and relate to the world around him or her. It's instrumental in the development of a child's personality. So temperament is the first foundation that we're born with. And it is developing genetically in the uterus as in the prenatal stage. And then as a child is born, that temperament begins to come out, but you see it very early on. And you see the difference of the children who are easy to manage, you don't cry a lot, or children who are kind of fussy, don't really want you close to them, children who have a sensitivity to clothing and tightness, and so on. So there's many, many different ways that the children come out. I'll just show you a little story. So once upon a time, there was a parent, 2 parents who had 3 children, and they're born at different times. 1, 2, 3. And the parents were really struggling because they were so different. And they thought, this is crazy. One of them was highly active and had slow recovery time. The other one was not very active at all and would have high recovery time. The other one was very shy and withdrawn. One was assertive. And it was just driving them crazy. And they thought it would be so much easier if all our kids were the same. So what they did is they went to a sameness clinic. Not with an M. Not sameness. We go to that as well. Sameness, right? And that clinic sort of put the kids through a little machine. And so one by one, 1, 2, 3, they all became exactly the same. So they went home, and parents, you'd think, would be delighted. But they actually weren't. They actually missed the difference in their children. Their children, they didn't learn anything from their kids. They didn't have to adapt anything. The kids didn't learn anything from each other. They knew what to expect. And it took that surprise and that magic of parenting, the magic of childhood away. So they went back to the sameness clinic, and they said, we'd like to reverse that. So one by one, 1, 2, 3, they all returned the way they were, and they appreciated their temperament. And part of our job in our working with caregivers is to help them understand that temperament isn't a bad thing. Whatever the temperament of a child is, yes, it can be more challenging, certain temperaments than others. But the biggest challenge, and as we go through the slides today and sort of what I'm trying to present, is that it's the fit between the caregiver and the child that is critical. And it's critical for the caregiver to understand how that temperament is working in the child and for them to find the goodness of fit. We do not and cannot expect our children to change. Say, you're 2 years old now, you need to change your behavior, your temperament in order to match a world that's going to be good for me. It doesn't work that way. Now, later on in temperament, we build personality. Personality has a little more ambiguity, a little more development based on the nurture side, on their experiences, on what they feel, on what their world around them is like, and what the reactions are like to them. Thomas and Chess, pioneers. So later on, you can go to these slides and click on the videos. I'm going to show this one, but it's an interesting one that gives some of their beginning thinking around the development of temperament and the 9 temperamental traits. Now, in research, you'll find that this is sort of the solid foundation of most temperament thinking, is the 9 traits. But there are 12 traits, there's 24 traits, there's 6 traits, there's 8 traits, depending on who you're talking about. And some are saying there's perhaps even more infinite numbers of temperamental traits. But that goes kind of crazy. We're talking about dozens of traits. Going down to 9 was getting a little bit manageable. But I struggled with 9 even. So I liked, when we got, these are 9 that they came up with: activity level, regularity, approach, adaptability, sensory threshold, intensity of reaction, mood, distractibility, attention span. And they actually identified 3 large categories: the difficult child, the easy child, and the slow to warm up shy child. This could be an example of a difficult child. Deja vu. We've all been there for some of our kids. Easy child. Actually, my example is Marcia from the Brady Bunch. You know her, or Lisa Simpson from The Simpsons, right? Who's kind of the perfect child, intellectual child, the book reader, but at school, a leader. And the shy child, the example is Ihor. That's kind of negative. Not great self-esteem, slow to adapt, questioning things, uneasy about things. So just want you to think for a moment. One of the things to remember about temperament is because of temperament that we have interesting stories and interesting movies and interesting cartoons. That all of these situations, if you're into soap operas, each of the characters have different temperaments. If you look at Winnie the Pooh as one of the classic group of characters, each of those characters has a very different temperament. Tigger ADD, hyperactive, bouncy, ready to go, not really thinking too much about what he's doing and making lots of mistakes, but good intentions, right? Winnie the Pooh is sort of thoughtful, a bit slow, but he figures things out. He actually likes to plan, and goes to planning and get some honey. But he kind of has a bit of a goal achievement and gets there in his own way. Or Rabbit, that's kind of grumpy, glass is always half empty, more negative about things. Or you have Piglet, who's a mediator, the nurturer, the nurse, the social worker, the early years educator, right? So that's sort of the perfect temperament for that character. So think for a moment of, if you're familiar with those characters, or you just read, if you're not, if you read their sort of characteristics, think for a moment about yourself as a 6, 7, 8-year-old. And just which of those characters, now everyone is unique, so no one is exactly like Tigger or exactly like Pooh Bear, but if you could think about who were you more like? Were you more like Tigger? Were you more like Piglet? Were you more like Rabbit? And I'm not going to ask you to answer, but and then think about today, because one of the things we know about temperament is a foundation that stays with us. There may be some slight modifications, but if you were shy and withdrawn at age 2, you're probably more in the shy withdrawn now. In certain situations, you may have learned, for example at work, that you are more social, take more initiative, you take more risks. But in your real life, and/or where you really test out temperament, is in crisis. When something pushes at you, something challenges you, that's when your temperament, your true-based temperament will take over. And that's true for kids. When the children are in crisis, when they have a need, when they're upset, when they're hurt, when they're hungry, that's when their temperament will show most. So if you thought about who you were and who you are, you should see some consistency in that, in those characters. Now, I like Rothbard because I like simple. So he went from 9 dimensions to 6. 6 is the good number. And actually, I bring it down to 5 later on, which is even a better number. So it's a little bit less to track, but really thinking about some of those main temperamental traits that we often face and see in children, in adults, in partners, in parents, that are going to challenge us. And he talks about, number 1, positive affectivity. That's the half glass. Is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? Right? So some will lean to, it's raining out, but that's okay. We can put our boots on and our coats on, or it's a great day to play an inside game, versus, oh, my day's ruined. I can't do anything. I just wanted to do that. Or I don't care, we're doing it anyways. And if everyone suffers, that's all right. We're going to suffer for it. Activity levels. So we have from low to high activity level. And the thing to think about in temperament is that it's not a single point. It really is kind of, it's a scale, and that's where we'll work at scale after, from one side of low, one side high, and a person can be anywhere in between that. Now what happens is, when a person is, let's say a scale is 1 to 10, choose those numbers, when you're from 3 to 6, 4 to 7, things aren't too bad. When things are at a 10 or a 9, in terms of any of those, even on the positive side, have you ever been with a person who's a 10 positive? Okay, Mary Poppins, like, it's just too much. Or at the low end, that we can't ever find anything positive or good in anything. So it's those extremes that we become a little bit more concerned about. And those are the ones that are going to challenge your parents or even yourselves. When you are working with a parent or a caregiver, or you are working with a child, you face some of the same challenges as a parent. Your temperament versus their temperament are sometimes going to bump. Friends who you really become sort of adhered to tend to have temperamental traits that are more tolerant. They may be different, but they're okay for you. Versus those people who rush against a goodness, a fit for you, you'll tend not to want to really spend a lot of time with them. Fearfulness. How fearful or unfearful is the child? And do remember, I'll be referring to child a lot, but it really means anybody. Adult, senior, mom, dad, nurse, social worker, that this is really the same for all of us. But how fearful is that child, especially around new situations, different situations? Do they get paralyzed? Are they sort of that fearfulness is a 9 or 10? Or are they about a 5 and they're a little fearful, but they can manage? They'll still do some encouragement or some support, or that they'll have a flashlight. Now they go upstairs in the dark room where they have a night light, they're okay with that, versus no, I need to sleep with you all the time now because my room has monsters in it. Anger, frustration. So how easily does a child become angry and frustrated? So, can you pass me that cup? Why did you give it me faster? What's the matter with you? Come on, I'm on now. What's wrong with you? I need that cup. I want the cup now. Give me the cup. Give me the cup. What am I doing here? I need your mommy. Right? So I ramp up really fast. Or is that are you able to tolerate some time lag in getting something that you need? In waiting for mom to make a bottle, or waiting for mom to make lunch, or mom is in the bathroom and tells us, "Mom, get me this game. I'm having the dump right now." Mom, I want the game. Right? So these are the things that will impact on that temperament. Attentional orientation, so the ability to pay attention, to focus, which is partly associated with the next one, although they're different. There is association with effortful control. Now, effortful control is a really interesting one. How many of you have seen the marshmallow test? Pretty common, yeah. So it's on the video. You can watch it if you haven't seen it. It's delightful. It'll make you laugh. And just the fast rendition of it is they have children ages about 4 to 7 that they give a marshmallow to. They're alone in a room. They say, if you don't eat that marshmallow while I'm out, you'll get 2 when I come back. And it's a struggle that you see children going through, and some will start nibbling at it, others will eat it right away, others are banging their heads, trying finding a way not to eat it. You have these twins, doing this dance, checking in with each other. And the science, the research has told us that when a child has effortful control, they'll do better in school, they'll be better at learning, they'll be more employable, they'll hold on to their jobs. Because what happens is they're goal-oriented and they can delay gratification. Where focusing attention is around, I'm doing a puzzle and I might get frustrated, or I just lose my attention, I want to do something else. Or I have homework to do if I'm older and I need to finish 10 questions, and after 2 I want to play a video game. I lose my focus, I start daydreaming or elsewhere, picking up things and so on. So that attentional piece is there, and then the effort of control. And there's his explanations of each of those. So I like the simplicity of that. And although it doesn't cover all temperamental traits, it covers the main ones that you're going to fairly easily be able to identify. And what's even more important, that if I have a mother and I ask her to rate her child, I've never had a parent, caretaker, adult, teen who can't rate the temperament on the basis of this, because it's that simple. How quickly do they get angry? 1 to 10. Not quickly or really quickly. And now, how quickly do you get angry? They can score themselves. And then, again, that's you'll see that on the charts in a tool that you can use later on. So lots of positive things for effortful control. And what we can do for effortful control, if you have a child who is short on effortful control, although you can't change the temperament, shyness will always be shy, high activity will always be highly active. As a child gets older, we can teach them strategies, skills, provide them with tools, provide them with cues that will help them. Mindfulness, for example, is a great way of training some children to build some effortful control, or behavior modification. There was a teacher who was trying to work with her. She's saying, how can I have a lot of kids who don't have good effortful control, and so she had Smarties each morning, and every child had a Smartie, and they would put it in their mouth, and they were not to bite it. That's hard, right? And just to feel there's a bit of mindfulness, but also just delaying the gratification of chewing into that. And I would have a hard time because I like munching down, especially the red ones, right? So and as soon as if anyone bit one before the time was up, you didn't get any more. If they could last for a minute, then they all got 2 Smarties more after that. So she did it every day, and lo and behold, what happens? All the children began to become more successful, and she was able to extend the time. So that we can help a child to develop strategies. I'm thinking of marshmallow. So what happens is the kids who eat the marshmallow, what are they looking at? They're looking at the marshmallow, they're tasting the marshmallow, they're seeing the marshmallow, and they're salivating, right? And they can see themselves eating it, and they can't. Oh, so what if we could say, why don't you piece of paper and doodle? Why don't you sing a song? Do something different. So we can teach children some of these skills and strategies, as well as we can teach parents. So on your tables, you do have temperament charts, and you're free to copy these as often as you want to use. And at the end, I'm going to show you, we're going to have some scenarios in terms of actually using the chart and then getting some feedback from you with strategies. But you'll see in the chart that I brought it down to, there's a 6 there, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Activity level, just put my glasses on, and actually read it. Activity level, positive affect, effortful control, fearfulness, anger, frustration, and recovery time. And you have low to high for the child or for the parent. And I've done this with couples, husbands and wives or partners, rating themselves. The same thing will happen around understanding the temperament differences and where there is some dissonance, where there is some conflict. You can do this with an infant and a parent. It can be a child who is 6 months old, and the mother can go through the fearfulness, the activity level for the child and for herself, or dad can do that, or a caretaker can do that, and again, see where there are highs and lows and differences that there may be some challenge. What the chart does is that number 1 is psychoeducational, because it's very concrete. As a tool, we're going over it, you're measuring these, you're able to teach that temperament is not your child trying to get you. They don't wake up every morning and say, how do I drive Mom crazy? Now, Stewie kind of does, if you watch the show, right? He's actually plotting, which is maybe a bad thing for parents to see, because maybe they think they have a Stewie. But kids don't do that. They're responding to the world in the way that they are built, and in the way that the world is responding to them. And the second lesson is that you have the job of finding the goodness of it with your child. That's what I was saying earlier. Your child who's 6 months, who's 2, who's 4, who's 6, is not responsible for making you feel good and to adapting to your temperament style. You need to understand that that's your responsibility. And you can do something. There's many things that you can do, as we'll experience later on. I'm going to not do that just yet. This is an exercise you can do at home. Take a chart and pick a relationship that you know. I want to do some more kind of work scenarios because the time is short, but pick a relationship that you know. a child, could be a grandchild, that you have struggles with, that you find relationship is challenging. If you're a teacher, it could be one of your students. And if you don't have a child that's challenging, pick an adult. Your mother-in-law, your ex-husband, or ex-spouse, or whatever, right? And rate your temperament, rate their temperament, and see where the gaps are, and think about, is that gap something that has been driving me crazy? That I'm low and they're high in this. And wow, or it can also happen if you both have, for example, slow recovery time, right? It takes a long time to recover from being upset, and you're both at a high, that actually can be a conflict, right? Because you're not, I'm not gonna say I'm sorry. They have to say I'm sorry to me first. Right? Or you have, I met a woman who's about 55 now. She had a fight with her sister 30 years ago and hasn't spoken to her since. And she's waiting for her sister to call her. And of course, I was talking to her sister, she'd probably say the same thing. She couldn't even remember what the fight was about. Just remember getting really upset. Now, is that fast recovery time or slow recovery time? So those are some of the things that people are facing. So that's an exercise you can do on your own.